What is
And
up,
welcome back,
everybody?
everyone. Hey, we
I'm
were Synchr0 because Synchr0 is in this match.
yeah, we were synchronized. Oh,
This is a new ability.
dang it, Martini! Come on.
I'm back.
Yes, he's back, everybody. Commentating. We are now in the top cut round 2 of the MPL online tourney number 8 using the VGC Series 12 rules. To everybody just tuning in, all the matches that we've been commentating have been through the perspective of Tiddvicious. So everything that you're seeing on screen right now is everything that we're seeing.
True, except you guys might have a delay on your end. We are live with Tiddvicious. And Synchr0 right now has, is it a Zacian? Yeah, it's a Zacian. We have Incineroar, Gastrodon, Groudon, Charizard, and Grimmsnarl. And on Tiddvicious side, we have the usual team of Kyogre, Incineroar, Rillaboom, Thundurus, Whimsicott, and Zacian as well. So let's get things rolling.
What kind of though? You've been commentating a lot of Tiddvicious' matches lately. What kind of do you think he'll start off with his typical lead? With his he'll use his usual lead against Synchr0, like say Whimsicott Kyogre or Whimsicott Zacian, or he might try and mix things up.
I know at the beginning of the tourney, like he liked to use Thundurus Whimsicott at the beginning, but I don't know if he changed his strategy while going up the ladders, like in the previous matches. Can you like give me a little bit of foresight on that, please?
Actually, in the round just before, when he was up against Garcia, in game 2 of that round, he didn't bring Whimsicott, and I don't know how to put this lightly, but he got destroyed by not having any Tailwind or any setup, since Garcia's guys were outspeeding Tiddvicious's. And we'll see if that happens now. We'll see if this might be the case now, as game 1 is about to unfold, with Groudon and Zacian on Synchr0 side, and Rillaboom and Thundurus. Ooh, that's an unusual pair. I haven't seen that one so yet. On Tiddvicious side.
Although Groudon is the ground type, so Rillaboom is quite of a good matchup against him.
That is
But
true.
you just see if Groudon has a fire attack, though, that could be hurtful for Rillaboom.
Oh, 100%. Like, that's what you don't want. It's like I was telling Johnny before, sometimes it's not just, when you're facing your opponent, you want to try and have as much control over things as possible. Like, say, tailwinding to make sure that your guys are always moving faster than your opponents, right? Whether it's by tailwind, or maybe using Trick Room so that you can have your your Pokemon that are slower than your opponents, then outspeed them under Trick Room since they go first. Or in this case, since he has the sun up, and since his Synchro's Groudon put the sun up, finding a way to get rid of the sun so that any of Synchro's fire type moves do not increase damage under that weather.
Exactly, and now what Synchr0 doesn't know is that with Incineroar coming into field, there's Defiant that is activating on Tid's side.
Yeah. Giving him that nice +1 boost.
With the switch into Kyogre as well.
Here he is, like I was saying. Want to try and control the weather as well to make sure that it's not in your opponent's favor. Tiddvicious trying to turn the Tid, as you would say, to his side.
It seems like we're back to VGC 2016, I think, when it was the weather war all over the place.
Oh man, Rayquazas, Groudons, Kyogres, but there wasn't a Dynamax back then. And as we can see right now, we have a Dynamax on Tiddvicious's and now on Synchr0's side too. So what is he gonna Dynamax? Is it gonna be the Incineroar or is it gonna be the Groudon?
Yeah, I just switched in Incineroar. So.
Oh yeah. Whoops. So it's gotta be the Groudon.
If not, Synchr0 is cheating.
Oh, true.
And the Airstream that connects.
That, you know what? Usually when you have a Pokemon that's Dynamax, their moves are supposed to do way more damage, but that didn't look like it did any damage on his Groudon, man.
See the rock fall, sorry. Wow. That did a
Yep.
lot more than expected.
Hey, when you're electric flying, right? That flying's
Yep.
weakness for rock moves kick in there, and bringing the weather now back to Synchro's favor, to Synchro's side. It may not be drought, so it may not be increasing fire type moves, but with the sand up, it will increase any rock type moves that he has.
Yeah, and especially knowing that Incineroar could have fake out, it could be in a dangerous spot right here.
That's right. Could fake out the Kyogre. Could be just doubling into the Kyogre, right? Where fake out it and then max Rockfall, or if it has any other move it'd like to use on it. But that's not the
Incineroar
case.
switching out. Oh, Gastrodon with the Storm Drain trying to get that buff.
Ooh. Getting that max airstream off to ensure that Kyogre does move faster than Groudon. Like I said, all these things, right? Raising the speed. Making sure that all these things you want to try and control.
Yeah, except Water Spout in the sand is not as good as Water Spout in the rain.
True.
But still, does a decent amount of damage.
Water Spout also not as good when one of your opponent's Pokemon has Storm Drain, right?
Right down to Dwayne.
Ooh.
Like a rock, if you know what I mean.
Well, I guess we could say this Thunderous went down to Dwayne right there after that Rock Ball, so...
Sí, señor.
Indeed, it did.
But now Kyogre is a fast machine, and Tid still has his Rillaboom.
Yeah, he may not be able to Dynamax anymore, but regular Kyogre is still a threat, especially while it still has all its HP. So if it does go for a Water Spout, it's gonna do a lot of damage, since the more HP that it has, the more damage Water Spout will do.
True, but at the same time, like if he uses Rillaboom right now, Synchr0 will be forced to switch because he'll either lose Gastrodon or Groudon.
That's
and
right.
if he switches to Incineroar, he's kind of screwed as well. But it will be the case since he's using Zacian.
Yo, look at all these mind games, right? It's not just, what will my opponent switch in, and then I'll try and pick a move to predict what they'll do. It's also, hey, if I bring in this guy, I might force him to switch out that guy. In this case, hey, if I bring in Rillaboom, I might make him force out to switch out the Gastrodon, as he's probably going to expect me to knock it out. Or go after it, I mean.
Yep.
Telling you, man, there's so many things that you're juggling in your head when you're there's so many things that are passing through your head when you're in every turn of Pokemon. Like, should I do this? Maybe what if I do this? Well, like, but if I do this, maybe they'll know I'm gonna do that, right? But but if they know that I'm gonna do that, then I'm gonna do this instead. I'm just spinning myself in a circle here, just thinking about all that.
We spin your head right round.
Oh baby, you know it.
Oh, was it enough to kill Incineroar? Yes, it was.
That it was. Like I said, he's still got full HP. So even though he's boosting the special attack of the Gastrodon, he's kind of like, I don't care. As long as I just knock out the rest of his guys, then the only thing that's going to be left is the Gastrodon. And I don't know how well Gastrodon would be able to handle a 1v2 against a Kyogre and a Zacian.
Right now, he still has Groudon on his side, and I think another Pokemon as well. And Zacian as well that we haven't seen yet.
Hey, the battle can still go either way, right? I think it's 3 Pokemon on each side now.
Exactly, but Groudon is low HP.
Yep. So now it's finding the right time to bring him in, so that it can change. Yeah, trying to find the right time to bring it in, so that Kyogre doesn't get the rain up again. Thinking over here. Like I said, even though I'm not playing it right now, I'm kind of like, putting myself in that seat of thinking, okay, if I were in this position, like if I was the one using Kyogre and Zacian right now, what would I do?
Oh, trying to negate the effect of the water spout.
Trying to mitigate that damage as much as possible so that Synchr0 Zacian takes as little of it as possible. And I think that helped. I think that really helped a lot. Cause this
Yeah.
look at this Behemoth Blade. Now will
I
this
think
be
this is
enough?
going for Kyogre.
It's
No, it's
going
Zacian. Okay, interesting.
right. That breaks his substitute. So
So now there's Gastrodon and Zacian versus Rillaboom, Kyogre, and Zacian on Tid's side.
man. Hmm. Rillaboom is still going to be a problem for that Gastrodon. But that Gastrodon might be a problem for that Zacian too. Since it's a water ground type, it might be packing a ground type move, which are super effective on steel type Pokemon.
Yeah. But at the same time, he doesn't have much special attacks, so since he switched out.
That's true. All those Storm Drain buffs that he got from earlier are not on him anymore. Ice Beam might not kill.
Could have do the Ahmed special and freeze it.
Oh, imagine!
Would have
Now
been so
that would have
broken.
been a game changer.
A trade of Behemoth Blade.
One big sword for another.
Oh, on
big sword
Kyogre this
coming
time.
in. Whoa. They didn't do as much damage this time.
And here's your power we were talking about.
But it is not enough to kill it, though. Not enough. All right,
Speaking
now
of
we have...
Gastrodon, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, you were saying?
Speaking of Gastrodon, which is your favorite form of Gastrodon? Is it the East B or the West B?
Oh, you mean the blue one or the pink one?
Yep.
I like the blue one. I like the design on that one.
True, we don't see it much often though, which is kind of sad.
Yeah, maybe it just I think maybe it might be harder to come by compared to the other one, compared to the one we're seeing right in front of us.
Yeah, depending if like we'll have some more blue Gastrodon showing up in competition since Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are out now. But we'll see if if Game Freak at one point made those games compatible with Sword and Shield, or the new games are coming Scarlet and Violet.
That's true. Right now, we got to get back to this game here. And this Behemoth Blade taking out Zacian. The Bats Behemoth Blade taking out Synchr0 Zacian now. Now we're looking at a 1v. I think this might be Synchr0's last Pokemon. So if that's the case, we've got a 1v3 happening here. Can he pull it off? Can Gastrodon make the comeback? Is the question.
Considering that Rillaboom is in the back, like, it will be really a magic trick if Synchr0 can get out of this mess. But we'll see.
Unless there's some magic way to change Rillaboom, to change Gastrodon's ability mid-match. Like, I don't know. First, to let it have Storm Drain against Kyogre, and then let it magically switch to Sap Zipper when Rillaboom comes in.
That would be great. Imagine if Gastrodon, that its only weakness is grass type moves, gets Sap Zipper.
That'd be the silliest thing, actually. Imagine where you have a Pokemon that can change its abilities, you know, mid-fight.
Well, again, if you have entrainment on one of them. But...
Ooh, yeah.
And
Survive the Ice Beam. Yeah, but didn't survive the Ice Beam, but not the Sacred Sword. So down goes Synchr0's last Pokemon. So game one right now, going to Tiddvicious. Congrats to him.
Yeah. He seemed a lot in control in that match, and I hope like it will reflect on the other match for him. because he really is in control of all of his Pokemon and his strategy. What do you think of the match overall, Flip?
I mean, this also gives Synchr0 a lot with all the moves that we saw Tiddvicious show on his Mons, right? This gives Synchr0 a lot of information, so that going into game two, going into game two, yeah, he might be able to adapt. That he'll adapt and that he might adapt, change his strategy, or might have figured out a way to counter some of Tiddvicious's strats.
True that.
Maybe even predict what he might be doing, like what he's going to go for, and then react accordingly to it.
Yeah, and we haven't seen yet Charizard and Grimmsnarl.
That's it. For all we know, now might be a time to bring them in, since since they haven't been shown. We don't know what kind of moves they got, what items they have.
Especially Grimmsnarl, if you can set up screens, that could really turned out to be useful for Synchr0, in my opinion. What do you think?
Oh yeah, I mean, any screens are always great in that it helps your Pokemon stay on the field even longer, right? And so even say if Tiddvicious Dynamax is one of his Pokemon, a move that might have killed one of Synchr0's guys might not kill if screens are set up.
Exactly.
Like I said, there's so many, like whether it's stat boosts, screens, getting hit with status effects such as burn. All these make a difference in the amount of damage that you might be able to take and the amount of damage you might be able to do to your opponent's Pokemon.
They really turn the tables like around depending on which Pokemon gets status condition, or if the screens are in play. Even if you go with the same 4 mons, it can change the whole game just because of screen or statuses.
Oh, 100%.
So now game 2 is starting with their Grimmsnarl and
Speaking
Groudon.
of screens, right? Speaking of speaking of screens, we have Grimmsnarl, Groudon on Synchros, and Zacian Thundurus on Matt's side, on Tiddvicious' side.
Yeah, really aggressive duo on Tiddvicious' side, but a more balanced team on Synchro's side.
I mean, Groudon is already a very bulky Pokemon. Like has a high base HP, very good defense, very good special defense. So if you could get a screen up on that, this tank that can't really go down in one hit is gonna be like an impenetrable wall at that point. Like you won't be able to break through it. It's not gonna break down. So we'll find out, right?
Yeah. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, that's what it is. Part of the fun in Pokemon. Who knows what kind of mons? Well, who knows? Even if say you and your opponent might use the same Pokemon, I mean, what kind of moves do they have on them? Maybe they're using different items. Maybe their EV spread is different.
Or even like the Great Forest Gum said, Pokemon is like a box of chocolate as well. You never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, this Forest Gum totally says that in the movie, that Pokemon is like a box of chocolates. You never know which one you're gonna Dynamax. Or which one is gonna be Dynamaxed, I mean, in this case.
I was trying to do like Tiddvicious here and go with the adaptability. You see with the quote?
As you've seen in his previous games, how he's been able to adapt to his opponent's strategies.
Oh, and then Tiddvicious going with the Brick Break.
That's a very nice, like I said, that Brick Break tech, breaking any screen that your opponent wants to set up. But it may have broke through it. Yeah. But now his means of breaking through that screens, should Synchr0 set it up again, is now gone. Going down in one hit to the max rockfall, which that's got hurt, man.
Maybe that's what Tiddvicious wanted, to make sure Grimmsnarl wastes a turn, but at a high cost because he lost the Pokemon.
That's true. That is true. Sometimes certain strategies, like you might realize mid-match, right? Like, hey, this Pokemon on my team is my win condition, right? Like, I need to keep this guy alive till the end because he's the one that's going to help secure the victory for me. And in order to do that, that might involve, at least when you're up against a Dynamax Pokemon, putting another Pokemon in front of it and having them take the hit instead. And sometimes that might involve them going down, which was the case for poor Thundurus back there. Now we sit here and wonder.
Oh, and Grimstar is being switched out for Incineroar.
Whoa. I thought it'd be another screen, but he's bringing the Incineroar with the Intimidate. Not affecting the Zacian thanks to the substitute, but Rillaboom being affected by it.
And here comes Behemoth Blade.
I wonder how much that's gonna do, because now screen's not up, right? Ooh.
Wow.
Ooh. Dang.
Damn, son.
Yo, that was a lot.
Comes the Max Quake on the substitute.
That's rough. One of your turns of Dynamaxing being used to break a sub. Like, ouch.
But there's a special defense that comes with it.
That it is.
And the Woodhammer, that will be enough to kill Groudon.
Breaking that screen was such
Yep.
a game changer, man. That was such a game changer right there.
So now Synchr0 still has is Incineroar and Grimmsnarl that we know. Tiddvicious has his Rillaboom and Zacian.
If I remember, Tiddvicious hasn't Dynamaxed yet either, right?
Exactly.
Ooh. But with his Thundurus gone, Grimmsnarl is now able to set up screens and not worry about them being brick breaked. Which is pretty good if you ask me. So that even which is pretty good. So even if should Tiddvicious Dynamax one of his guys right now, well, it's not really the case since he switched in Kyogre, but if he did, it might have been able to survive thanks to those screens.
Now that Groudon is gone, Tiddvicious is gaining control of the weather.
That's true.
Thunder Wave on the Zacian.
Hey man, Prankster is such a great ability. Gives you priority, no matter how slow your Pokemon may be to your opponents. If it's a priority move, if it's a status move, Prankster gives that status move +1. But that's all we're gonna see from that Grimmsnarl, folks, because it went down to that Behemoth Blade. Got one Thunder Wave off, and down it went. No screens, no nothing.
Well, I tried to, but Tiddvicious really adapt in function of like what this Pokemon was able to do.
Yeah.
And right now, Synchr0's in a spot where Kyogre won't be faster than his Zacian, but still can do some heavy damage to Incineroar.
True. He still has the Dynamax. And with no screens up, and with the weather being in Tiddvicious' favor, it seems like it might be an uphill battle for Synchr0, but I'm rooting for him nonetheless, man. I'm rooting for him. Yeah, if his Zacian's able to outspeed Tids and somehow able to knock out the Kyogre in one shot, then dude's got a fighting chance.
Yeah. He will outspeed the Zacian, but will he target the Kyogre? Will try to finish up the Zacian as fast as possible.
Oh, that's true.
Zacian goes with Protect.
Oh, guess Synchr0 Zacian isn't gonna finish off either of the two. But how much damage is this Kyogre gonna do to the Incineroar? Oh.
In the Rain Max Geyser, no question about it. Sadly, the Incineroar goes down.
Well. Dang. Dang.
And Synchr0 is a good sport and is playing it out up until the end.
Hey, I mean, you gotta play every turn. You gotta. I mean, it's important to play. You gotta play every. You gotta play every turn, right? If that makes any sense. In that, there's always a chance for you to turn the tides in your favor. Although, least from what we're seeing here, this might not have been the case.